Listen to a story Jesus told about a father and his two sons. A story that starts with restlessness and ends with a door left open. Jesus said the kingdom of God is like this: a generous father, a younger son who asks for his share and runs far from home, and an older son who stays but grows hard inside. Watch what happens when grace runs faster than regret and love waits longer than anger. This is the parable of the prodigal son. Once there was a family with two sons and a generous father. The younger son's heart was restless. He looked at the horizon more than the home in front of him. One day, he approached his father and said the words that changed everything. "Father, give me my share." Not because the father was unloving, but because his love was real, he opened his hands and let the boy choose. The older brother stood behind him, troubled and silent, watching a door open he wished had stayed closed. The younger son set out with a bag of gold and a head full of dreams. He did not look back at first. The fields gave way to roads. The roads led to markets. The markets led to people who lived for the moment. Laughter filled the nights. Music spilled into the streets, and his purse grew lighter with every song. It felt like freedom, until the coins rang hollow. Soon the celebrations ended.
Nothing left.
When the lights dimmed and the friends drifted away, he stood alone in the rain with only a few coins and a heavy heart. Worry took the place of excitement. He counted what remained on a small table. Too little to start over. Too much shame to go home. He tried to push through one more day, but the market grew colder and the doors closed earlier, and hunger became his companion. He found work no one wanted, feeding pigs in a muddy pen. He tossed slop and watched the animals eat while his stomach ached. His clothes tore, his shoes wore thin, his pride wore thinner. And there, in the storm of his own choosing, he remembered the steady warmth of home, the kindness of his father, the bread that never ran out, the servants who were treated better than this. A thought rose up inside him like a sunrise. I will go home. I will tell my father I was wrong. I will ask to work, not as a son, but as a servant. It wasn't dignity that lifted him from his knees. It was hope. So he set out on the longest road of his life, one step after another through fields he barely recognized. The house was far at first, only a memory at the edge of the sky. But as he walked, the memory grew into a shape he knew by heart. He practiced his apology with every step, his voice catching on the words, "I am no longer worthy." What he did not know was this: the father had never stopped watching the road. Day after day, he looked toward the horizon, listening for a familiar footstep, longing for a shadow that matched his son's. And then one day he saw him, thin, tired, walking with a hope that looked like fear.
My son! Father! Come home.
The father did not wait at the gate. He ran. He ran with all the love of all the waiting, his robe catching the wind, his heart ahead of his feet. He reached his son and wrapped him in an embrace that said, "You were never forgotten." The son tried to speak, tried to push the words of apology between their shoulders, but the father's joy swallowed his shame. "Bring the best robe," the father said. "Bring a ring for his hand and sandals for his feet." These were not the tools of a servant. They were the signs of a son restored. "Prepare a feast," he said. "Let music fill the house. The one who was lost is found. The one who is as good as dead is alive." And there was music again, this time not bought with coins, but born of mercy. Neighbors gathered, lanterns glowed, laughter returned, but it was different now, softer, deeper, honest. The younger son sat at the table, held by the love he had tried to trade away, and found that it could not be spent. But outside, another storm gathered, not in the sky, but in the heart of the older brother. He had stayed home, worked hard, followed the rules. He had not asked for anything, and he didn't plan to start now. He heard the music and stayed in the dark. His anger said, "What about me? After all I've done, where is my celebration?" He could not see that what he wanted most had always been his. The father did not send a servant to fetch him. He went himself.
"Son, you have always been with me. All that I have is yours. But your brother was lost and has been found. Let us be glad for him."
I want to, Father. It's just...
He stepped out into the night and stood beside his older son. "All I have is yours," he said gently. "But come, your brother was lost and is found. He was gone, and now he is home. This joy does not take anything from you. It gives us all back to each other." The older brother stood between resentment and grace. The music rose and fell like an invitation. The father waited as patiently for this son as he had waited for the other. It is a mystery how long it takes a heart to soften. Sometimes it breaks open at once. Sometimes it opens the way doors do in the wind, slowly with sound and struggle, but open all the same. The table inside glowed with light. The younger son listened to his father's voice and learned that love is not a wage to be earned, but a gift to be received. He learned that coming home is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of becoming whole. And the older brother, if he would join them, would learn that faithfulness without love turns into a locked room, and that love does not erase faithfulness, it fulfills it. The father's house was big enough for both kinds of storms, the wild one that ran away and the quiet one that stayed put. His love was wide enough to run down the road and strong enough to wait on the porch. He wanted both sons at the table because a family is not complete with an empty chair. Maybe you have been far from home, spending your courage the way the younger son spent his coins. Maybe you have been close to home, but far from joy, counting your good deeds and feeling unseen. To both of you, the father runs and the father comes out. To both of you, he says, "All that I have is yours. Come in, sit down, be welcomed, and become who you are." The road is still there, stretching from the places we've wandered to the place we are wanted. The door is still open, the light's still on, the music ready to rise again. It does not matter which storm has claimed your heart, the one that chased the horizon or the one that struggled to forgive. There is a seat for you. There is a robe and a ring and sandals that say, "You belong." So come while the evening is kind and the table is set. Come while the Father is already on his feet, already running, already speaking your name. Come home and let grace do what rules never could. Let joy finish what fear started. Let love make you new. If this story touched you, pause for a moment and consider whom you might welcome back or where you might need to return. And if you'd like more stories of hope, compassion, and courage, stay with us for the next chapter. There's room at the table, and the music isn't over yet.